Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Deep Rock Galactic. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Zarel. Let's get to it. So today we're doing the Deep Dive, codenamed Forsaken Feast. But before we get to that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. So let's get into it. Stage 1 of the Deep Dive has Haunted Cave, Alien Eggs, and a Dreadnought. So of course, the Haunted Cave means that there is an invisible, mostly invisible, but entirely invulnerable detonator that is going to be chasing one of your teammates around. If you're the only one doing the Deep Dive, then that is you, and it's going to be chasing you throughout the level. So make sure that you keep some distance. If you're in a group, you can use the strategy where one person stays just out of reach of the ghost, and it'll continue to follow that person. It's not a very exciting job, but it is a really good strategy. Now, of course, alien eggs are going to look for that organic matter that you see right there around the level. Dig in towards the pulsing red light and dig out the egg. And then, of course, the Dreadnought is the boss-like creature of Deep Rock Galactic. This time around, we got the twins, the Lacerator and the Arbalest. They burrow around and go invulnerable. If you do too much damage to one, the other will heal it. So make sure that you're balancing out the damage between the two. But once you have one down, then you can focus on the last one and take it out. If someone can mark it, that'll make it a lot easier, much easier for the rest of your team. So having one person mark the Arbalest, have one person mark the Lacerator, it's going to make your job a lot easier to figure out where they're at in the level and focus fire on the one that you need to, so you don't do lopsided damage and then end up wasting a bunch of ammo. Now once you have all the eggs and the Dreadnought taken care of, then you're ready to call in the dropship and move on with the Deep Dive. Now this is a good time to point out that the Deep Dive is a 3-stage raid-like environment where you can play by yourself with your buddy Bosco or with up to 3 other players, either pre-made or match-made. So it's really up to you. Now just remember that if you're playing with other players, it may go very smoothly, it may not go so smoothly. It depends on the experience that each dwarf brings to the encounter. So your mileage may vary. If you do it by yourself, more than likely it'll take a little bit longer to do the Deep Dive. Alright, and just because you've called in the drop pod, that doesn't mean the ghost is done with you. The ghost will continue, that detonator will continue to follow someone and try to take you out. So make sure that you are always on the move, staying away from that ghost, that detonator. Depending on what job you have, it may be easier or harder to get to the drop pod. Make it however you can, the best way that your job and your teammates allow, and make your way out. So that's it for stage number 1. On to stage number 2.
Good work, team. New coordinates punched in. Diving.
We rock!
Alright, the second stage of the Deep Dive has critical weakness. That's a boon for you and your team. Liquid Morkite and a black box. So Liquid Morkite, of course, you're going to see the plumes of fire and smoke, and you're going to call in the pump jack. You're going to go from the rig and draw out the framework from the rig to each pump jack. Depending on what your job class is, it may make it easier or harder, depending on the topography of the level. In most instances, the driller has the easiest job getting the framework from the rig to the pump jack. But there are some exceptions to that rule.
Pipe framework set.
It seemed like our level was a lot of air, especially right around the rig. Now, of course, this also means that there's no mule on the stage. You'll have to take everything that you grab and take it to the rig yourself. Now, once you have the framework set up, then you can start building out the actual pipe from the rig to the pump jack. And you'll have to do that for each of the 3 geysers that are on the level. Now, the black box is a zone control where you have this bubble around the black box. More than likely, it'll be easy to see somewhere within the level as you're looking for those geysers of liquid morkite.
Halfway there, team. 50%.
The more people that are within the bubble, the faster it goes. The fewer people, the slower it goes. And if nobody's in the bubble, you start losing progress rapidly. If you get down to 0%, then you've failed the deep dive and you'll have to start over. Once you get to 100%, then you're ready to move on. Now, critical weakness means that the weak point on any of these enemies is going to take increased damage. So make sure that you're targeting the weak points, as you're going to be able to just mow through enemies very, very quickly if you do. Now, once all the pump jacks are connected and you've done the black box, you can start refining that liquid morkite, bringing it to the rig. You'll have to repair the pipes at some point, probably several some points during that phase. And then once you're done, call in the drop pod and make your way out. Now, this is a good time to point out that everything carries over in the deep dive from one stage to the next. That includes your health, your grenades, your ammo, traversal tools, everything, including what's in your pocket. So if things are getting too crazy as you're trying to get to the drop pod and you don't have a chance to put it into the drop pod, you can always wait until the next stage. If it's at the 3rd stage, then obviously go ahead and drop it in the drop pod before you make your way out. But that's it for stage 2. Moving on to stage number 3.
Come on, boys.
Close all hatches. We're going deeper. Well done, team.
Like that! Rock and stone!
Rock and go.
Alright, on to the 3rd and final stage of the deep dive. This time we have shield disruption. That means you have no shields, you only have your health. So hopefully you've got a lot of nitra from previous stages. Additionally, you're doing a full salvage mission plus a dreadnought. Of course, we already know the dreadnought is the boss creature of Deep Rock Galactic. And of course, salvage means that there's a derelict drop pod somewhere on the level with a bunch of mini mules that you have to take care of, that you have to repair. They've fallen apart, gone into disarray, either from a lack of maintenance or they're just cheap DRG stuff. We don't know. But usually there's a large cavern wherever the derelict drop pod is, with a whole bunch of enemies that are already set up. So make sure that you don't go guns blazing right away, head first. Make sure that you reconnoiter a little bit, figure out what's going on before you commit, and maybe take your entire team with you. So this time around we had the Hive Guard Dreadnought. This one has an immune phase, a shielded phase, and then a damage phase. So while it's immune, it calls up the Sentinels, which are kind of mini Praetorians that'll come after you. Take out those mini Praetorians, and then it goes into a shielded stage You have to take out the little pink spots on it, little fronds, antennae, whatever you want to call it. And then you get to the damage phase. And then once it gets to the damage phase, do as much damage as quickly as possible. Now, one of the drawbacks, big drawbacks of shield disruption stages in general is that you're trying to keep enemies, all enemies away from you. All melee enemies away from you, and then if you see a ranged attacker, you want to take them out really quickly.
Supply drop has been ordered and is on the way.
Now during the deep dive, you're going to want to keep your eyes open for gold and nitro. There's no regional minerals that you can get normally. If there is a hoarder, then you will be able to get some, but ordinarily there aren't any. Just gold and nitro. Gold, of course, you'll get extra credits at the end of the deep dive, and nitro will keep you flush with ammo and health during the deep dive. And hopefully you've got plenty, because you may need it since your shields aren't there to give you a little bit of cushion from that damage. So shields, I would say, are kind of a damage mitigation strategy where you can take a little bit of damage, you can take a little bit of risk, and then you say, oh, I'm getting hit, I better do something about it. Take out the enemies, your shields, recharge, and, you know, no harm done. But in stages like this, this one, and then of course other ones that have shield disruption, you don't have that cushion, so you're always going to want to have your eyes on a swivel so that you can avoid any damage wherever possible, and then of course grabbing that red sugar or a resupply to bump up your health when it starts getting low. Now there is a perk that you can get 5 health from any medium or large enemy that you take out with your pickaxe. It's kind of a risky strategy by itself, because your pickaxe really doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so you have to do a bunch of damage and then stop and then use your pickaxe to take them out, especially on a stage where it's shield disruption. Now, one of the things you never want to do is run out of ammo. When you're in a group of 3 or 4, you always want to have enough nitro that you can call in a resupply when your team is roughly 50% out of ammo. You don't want to get into the situation where you run out of ammo in your main weapon or whatever main weapon that you use. It makes your mission or deep dive that much more difficult, so make sure that you stay flush with nitro so that you can stay flush with ammo and of course health. Hiveguard took a long time, partially because there were a whole bunch of other enemies as well. I'm not really sure where the Hiveguard was at that it got popped open. The egg was popped open a little bit earlier than I would have preferred, and hopefully it was just accidental. And there we go. Just do tons of damage when that damage phase pops up. Now once you have all the mini mules taken care of and the dreadnought taken care of, then you just have 2 more zone controls. One to repair the uplink and one to refuel the derelict drop pod. And then you can make your way out. Eventually. It's very, very dragged out. It seems like salvage mission is one of the longer missions. And of course, one of the big reasons to do the deep dive, aside from the credits and experience that you get from doing it, are the Matrix cores, which will get you weapon skins, cosmetics, and weapon overclocks. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you next time.
Shield charge! Die like your mother dead! What's
Fuel cells at 75%. You're almost there.
Lighting up!
We got the menace! Shield recharged! Shield!
Don't waste your ammunition!
Grabbing ammo!
Fuel cells fully charged. Drop pod engine powering up. Hold your ground. We're almost ready to pull you and the goods out.
Rocket stove!
I got the tri
Pod reactor spooling up.
Die!
Onboard mainframe booting.
No more!
Calculating orbital trajectory.
Resupply ordered!
Supply pod launched. Better stand back. Powering radiation shielding.
Ready to kill some more. Resupply arrived! Go resupply!
Weapons ready!
Decom operational.
Big stepping son of a mud golem! Go crusher! Team! Plasma grenade!
Pod thrusters calibrated.
Cryo!
Here, get into cover!
Drop pod powered up and ready to leave. It's time to bring it all home. Get on board, we're leaving with or without you.
That's gonna cost you a round and lift with your legs!
That's one for the books. Retrieving escape pod.
Rockin' stone! Rockin' stone! Rockin' stone like there's no
Rock
tomorrow!
and stone forever!